Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Once again, it's a very interesting last couple of hours. We have a lot of things going on in the cryptocurrency space, so I'm obviously going to go through some of them, but I think certain things are taking place. This is at least how I kind of see things. I think things are accelerating in a certain way, but without further ado, let's jump right into it. Early adopters of the Lightning Network may find a reason to be optimistic as the technology begins reaching unprecedented levels of adoption, adding several nodes to the network and a significant amount of Bitcoin to boot. In February of this year, the network had 1,000 channels and a value of 4 Bitcoin inside of the network. In the following months, the number of channels kept growing at a steady rate, but the quantity of Bitcoin hadn't kept pace. This was pretty much the status quo until mid-November. Think about that. When a sudden influx of adoption brought the number of channels up to 16,000 when it was at 1,000 before, and the total market capitalization of the market to over 450 Bitcoin, up from 4 Bitcoin where it was before. That's a 1,600% increase in adoption and a 10,000% increase in capital compared to the February milestone. The sudden burst happened around the same day as the dramatic Bitcoin Cash split that led to the creation of Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's vision. One could be forgiven for thinking that this event was a one-off ordeal, but the numbers kept growing steadily into December. As of right now, the Lightning Network has 16,677 channels, up from 1,000, with a total of 461 Bitcoin in its coffers. The fact that these channels that came around the same time as the BCH BSV debacle and choose to remain there suggests that there are more complex motives behind such a migration. First of all, is not so much a flight to another cryptocurrency as it is a departure from the traditional ecosystem entirely into a platform that's layered on top of a blockchain. Transactions that happen on the Lightning Network don't register on the Bitcoin blockchain until a channel is closed, providing what could be perceived as an extra shield against the fragility of a cryptocurrency as it's going through a split. Without reading any further, we're seeing something quite interesting, and I think this is all happening for a reason. In the simplest form, without going on a long spiel for too long, in my opinion, I feel like the situation that we're getting into, if you paid attention to the other video that I made before, I think it was called like, is crypto dead? It's almost game time. It's very close. We're pretty much at the end of 2018. We're at the point right now where the market is going to eventually move. Once again, no one knows the exact date or time or place or event that's going to trigger a bull market or the crypto prices to go back up or Bitcoin to go back above 10,000. But at some point, this is going to happen. And what's going to be very interesting about this time is, if you've been paying attention, the amount of good news that we've had over the course of the last 12 months is eventually going to impact the market. People will start going back and realizing all the infrastructure that's been built, the other updates, the other upgrades, the other partnerships, which have been plentiful throughout this year. They're going to eventually happen. What we had last year in 2007. In 2017, that was a major problem for those who were here, but maybe really not here, maybe just got into the market at the beginning of this year, was that Bitcoin's transactions, I don't know how to really phrase it, like the transaction cost and the transaction backlog was almost non-existent. Like Bitcoin's transactions were around 2-3 cents at the beginning of 2017, and I think there was no lag at all for transactions. There was maybe like a couple of days where there would be like 200 transactions that were lagging, but by the end of the year, when the market was going completely insane, it was either, I want to say it's 200. I don't think it was 20,000. I want to say it was 200,000 transaction backlog. It took days to send transactions sometimes, especially if you didn't have the right amount of transaction fees. That caused a huge problem. That actually people attribute at least a fraction of that to why they think that the cryptocurrency market ended up going down, because the demand that was out there in order to be able to gobble up as much Bitcoin as possible simply didn't match the speed of the network. So in the simplest terms, if a huge amount of people who we know have gotten into the cryptocurrency space. We know that the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, even if we just focus on those two, are going to get into the cryptocurrency space. What then happens if it was normal retail investors who brought the price of Bitcoin up to 20,000? What happens when we have a worldwide market, as people are, as the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ are worldwide, and people around the world see them as a major financial institution, get into the cryptocurrency space, and people are able to sell, buy, and trade cryptocurrencies, and more specifically on this topic, Bitcoin, on top of their platforms. What happens if Bitcoin ends up going up to $50,000 per coin next year, and we have 500,000 transactions that are blocked up in the blockchain and nothing is moving? For those who don't know, the point of the Lightning Network, in at least fractionally, in about 80% of that being the large portion of the fraction, is pretty much that it's meant to cover smaller transactions. The Lightning Network is created in order so that people, as they always say, can buy a cup of coffee with a Bitcoin, or they can do something, or they can do everyday normal things, because it seems completely unlikely that you're going to want to go to Starbucks and pay $6 for a coffee or latte, whatever they sell inside of those things, and you're going to want to pay a $27 fee. That's not going to happen. On the Lightning Network, your transaction fees actually end up being 1 Satoshi, which is, I think it's like 0.0000037th of a US dollar, so it's not even like a portion of a cent. When you have a situation where cryptocurrencies, this is my opinion, this is how everything seems to be converging for me, is going to at some point completely go insane. You cannot have the New York Stock Exchange or any other financial institution launching a cryptocurrency service that's going to have the network bogged down or buckle under its own weight again. You can't have that. You can't have another 2017 where normal transactions can't pass through the network anymore. I told you guys in another video, it took me, I think, 8 days to get one of my transactions to go through, because I was using an older wallet and they had set the transaction fee on the older wallet and I wasn't allowed to change it, and I thought the transaction would go through. Lo and behold, it ended up taking more than a week. You can't have that. So when I listen to podcasts and stuff like that, and they talk about the future of the Bitcoin network and the future of where this is going and the future of how this is going to be, the main idea is that Bitcoin, the actual number one coin, the blockchain, is never going to be scaled. The people from Blockstream, who pretty much control Bitcoin, say that they see no reason for it, and this is why that they have created the Lightning Network. It is believed that the future of Bitcoin is going to pretty much be like this for larger transactions, for people who are transacting, let's say, 15,000, 25,000, 100,000, even over, let's say $10,000, will go through the normal blockchain. And as these transactions won't be as plentiful as the rest of the smaller transactions for buying food, for buying Pampers, for buying this, these other smaller transactions will go through the Lightning Network, and the bigger transactions will go through the normal Bitcoin network, and this will stop all congestion. When you open up a node or a payment channel on the Lightning Network, what happens is you preload it with Bitcoin, and these are the kind of like the money that can kind of flow through that channel. So you'll kind of see when people are opening up Lightning Network nodes or payment channels, someone will upload it, or rather they'll load, like, let's say for simplicity's sake, like half a Bitcoin, 0.50 of a Bitcoin onto the Lightning Network, and they'll separate that 0.50 into 50 different payment channels, so that they can essentially have 50 different transactions going through their payment networks at the exact same time. If more people end up putting their cryptocurrency, or Bitcoin in particular, into the Lightning Network and fractionalize it, and let's say for argument's sake, Bitcoin's price ends up going to 100,000 per coin, 0.01 of a Bitcoin will have a payment channel of the equivalent of $1,000, and $1,000 and lower will be able to pass through that channel. If that's like this simplifying it as much as possible. This ends up becoming a major thing if big IF Bitcoin ends up hitting $100 million in this fantastical future, and that means 0.01 of a Bitcoin ends up being $1 million, and therefore any transaction around $1 million or less will be able to pass through that channel with ease. So what we have right now is, if you look at the actual, I don't have the chart open because that chart would just destroy my computer. When you look at the actual chart and it shows the amount of payment channels and like the nodes and like everything that's connected to each other, you can like highlight some of the they're shown as little circles. You can highlight on top of some of them to show you exactly how much Bitcoin is preloaded onto these things, and some of them have like 25 Bitcoin onto one node, but they have about maybe 600 payment channels. So the point is, to wrap all of that up, I feel like, and I would not be surprised, pay attention to this, I would not be surprised if when we finally get confirmation of exactly what backed to BAKKT is going to be at the beginning of next year, that they announce that they're going to be using the Lightning Network. I have a very strong feeling, and you may have, we had, first of all, the Lightning Network was seen or heralded, I'm pretty sure heralded, as this new, amazing, fantastical thing that was going to send Bitcoin into the stratosphere at the beginning of this year. That's 2018 when it first got launched. By February, everybody was like, wow, that's amazing. It has 1,000 channels and only 4 Bitcoin is actually on the network. At the same exact time when things were supposed to have started moving in November, for those of you who were here may remember that all this talk that we had about all these other things that were going to supposedly be launching, that includes the backed platform, it's supposed to be the beginning of December. And then we had like this hype around the marketplace in the middle of November in anticipation for this going to happen. And this is when all of this started to shoot up. I have a very strong inkling that they were gearing up and are probably still going to gear up, because you can't, having people trade physical futures on Bitcoin going back and forth through the network in any capacity, or even having the hype around the network. Even if we get back to previous levels, you cannot have a slow network like we've had before. So I think there's a huge jump towards Lightning. Like this is not an accident. 1,000 to 16,000, especially in October. There was barely any news about the Lightning Network. And remember, we had the news the past 4 weeks. Lightning Network has been in the news every single time. And now we have a 1,600% increase. Point is, pay attention to when Backed is getting launched, when the other stock exchanges are going to be launching their other things as well. I would not be surprised if we hear that they're going to be adopting the Lightning Network, which would also be absolutely fantastic, because it's kind of what needs to happen. Simply because if we get more adoption onto this, the idea is that once the Lightning Network has, let's say, even about 10 times this capacity right here, this will essentially be enough for a huge portion of the world to be able to actually use Bitcoin. Especially if you have a Bitcoin price that has gone up, and you also have multiple nodes that can handle these quick transactions, and the transaction fees are just 1 Satoshi. I don't think people understand how low a fee of 1 Satoshi is. Like Bitcoin fees used to be 0.0001 or like 1 before that of an actual fee. 1 Satoshi is absolutely nothing. And I also sorry to spend so much time on the Lightning Network, but when I first heard about the Lightning Network, I didn't like the idea of it, but now I kind of get it. I'm working my way up to it. It feels like it's like a staking platform, because we know, if you've been paying attention, that there's not a lot of Bitcoin actually floating around out there. And I wonder what's going to happen when we have an enormous amount of Bitcoin that is staked, if you will, on top of the network to open up these payment channels, and people are then incentivized to keep their Bitcoin on the Lightning Network to be able to receive, because when you have your money, your Bitcoin staked on the Lightning Network, you receive the transaction fees that go through it. It's like that 1 Satoshi that's constantly passing through it. Right now, we have people talking about that they maybe make like 300 Satoshi per month. This was like months ago when I was looking at other videos. But imagine if we have, 10 times this, and you are getting, 15, 20,000 transactions per month on your payment channels. And even if they're only paying 1 Satoshi as a payment fee, this can eventually then potentially become, if we have a future where Bitcoin ends up being worth $250,000, like another side income, because you have 87 channels on the Bitcoin network where your Bitcoin is staked. And what happens when we have 10,000, maybe 100,000, maybe 150,000 Bitcoin that are staked on the Lightning Network as payment channels? It's all quite interesting. I feel like this isn't an accident. I think it's all definitely I have a feeling that the higher ups are definitely trying to figure out a way to be able to make sure that the network can handle this much growth and speed and other things like that. Because look at this. This pretty much says it all right here. By the time the Lightning Network got launched, everyone was expecting that this was going to be like the very beginning of it. I'm glad that we have moved along and have gotten this far. It's obviously only going to continue to grow from here. I think the catalyst that we need is some major company or institution just to mention it. Because part of the problem is that so many of the institutions and corporations and governments and other things like that who are getting into cryptocurrencies, they tend not to list or announce anything or say what they're really into. If we had proper confirmation that the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ or the Swiss Stock Exchange or the Jamaican Stock Exchange or China something or South Korea or Japan Bank something was using Lightning Network or announced that they had support for the Lightning Network, we'd see an astronomical amount of growth in the Lightning Network very, very fast. But for some reason, it's still up to us, the cryptocurrency community, to try and spread the news. On that other note as well, I'm going to try and make sure, we spoke about it multiple times, that other corporation or company who was selling the Lightning Network nodes, I'm going to keep looking out definitely 100% to see if there's any type of cheaper alternative, because right now, unless you're really tech savvy, you won't be able to open your own Lightning node. When we have a cheaper alternative, I'm definitely going to tell people, because I definitely do plan on opening up my own Lightning Network payment channels, because I want to help the network. I feel like, and I said this months ago as well, I feel like it's definitely up to us to make sure that crypto ends up spreading, or is that we spread the crypto gospel. I think that's the most awkward way of kind of saying it, but it's definitely true. We are in this space, especially if you have money in the space. It is up to us to make sure that other people know exactly what cryptocurrencies are, how they work to some level, and to kind of get the word out there, if you will. Right. On that note from the Lightning Network, let us definitely move on. Next up, Swiss bank known as Gazprom Bank recently partnered with fintech startup Avaloq and crypto firm Medico to offer clients crypto services, an Avaloq press release said on the 6th of December. Fintech company Avaloq and crypto custody solution specialist Medico are reportedly collaborating with Gazprom Bank, which has $3.12 billion in total assets under management, to implement their integrated crypto asset solution aimed at banks and wealth managers. The system is meant for the management of client portfolios across all asset classes, including cryptocurrencies. The press release reports that it is the largest development in a pre-existing relationship with the bank, noting that Gazprom Bank Switzerland Limited, which is already an Avaloq client, aims to offer a cryptocurrency service to its clients in mid-2019. The implementation of the service is meant to make transactions in crypto assets simple. After the implementation, the report states that clients will be able to buy, sell, and transfer crypto without any need for a crypto wallet or private management key. So this was making the rounds. I thought about not really talking about it, but apparently a Swiss bank getting into cryptocurrency is, of course, major news. Switzerland, for those who pay attention to any type of like Swiss crypto news, and not usually a lot, but if you watch, not documentaries, but stuff that's kind of out there about the cryptocurrency space, Switzerland is very open to cryptocurrencies and the idea of cryptocurrencies and making money from cryptocurrencies. I wish that the country itself was bigger, and I mean like land mass wise, so that they could potentially have a bit more of an influence on the cryptocurrency space. If we had the amount of, like interest and thumbs upness from the US that we've had from Switzerland and many other countries, crypto would be in the stratosphere right now. But lo and behold, just kind of how things are. I'm very glad that there's still a lot of adoption, and I think it's very interesting that so many banks are now getting into cryptocurrencies as well more openly. This was spoken about for quite some time, and I think a lot of people don't really understand, or they are underestimating the amount of money that these banks have and how much money that they're going to be putting into cryptocurrencies, especially when they're creating their own cryptocurrency trading platforms. Make sure to always pay attention to news like that. Whenever a bank is getting into cryptocurrencies and they're going to offer some type of a crypto asset custody thing or some type of a trading platform, they are not doing it out of the kindness of their hearts. They are doing it because they want to make a profit. And if they are trying to make a profit from something, you better believe that they already hold that asset themselves, because you can't offer something to someone else without having it yourself. That's not how finance works. Like, it's just how the money goes. Anyway, from this topic, let us move on. Probably one of the I feel so bad for him. They're like the photos that they use for this guy. Morgan Creek's Anthony Pompliano has declared that, contrary to the expectations of some in the blockchain space, Facebook will eventually build the most used product in crypto. Responding to a tweet by the Block founder Mike Dudas, inferring that Facebook is hiring blockchain engineers without a clear defined role or purpose for them, Pompliano stated that based on Facebook's track record of development, scaling, and deployment, he expects that it's only a matter of time before the company will rise to dominate the cryptocurrency space. Here's the actual tweet, and let's move on. It says, it will be recalled that in August, CCN reported that Facebook sources hinted that the social media behemoth might be planning to build a cryptocurrency project on the Stellar network as its mysterious blockchain division's first assignment. While Facebook flatly denied these reports, it still remains unclear what exactly the company's blockchain development team will be working on. In the interim, Facebook has continued recruiting blockchain developers to join its growing blockchain team. Facebook blockchain division head David Marcus recently resigned from his position on the board of directors at Coinbase, citing a new conflict of interest, fueling speculation that the company is indeed planning to launch a cryptocurrency project, which would be unprecedented in terms of the potential scale offered by access to Facebook's 2 billion plus users. Others, however, believe that Facebook is merely joining the Silicon Valley bandwagon and does not really have any kind of, that they really don't want to get into it. According to this school of thought, a job at Facebook's blockchain division represents a resume, cannot really that important. Pompliano, on the other hand, believes that Facebook has assembled a team that has too much talent and experience to be taken lightly. According to him, Facebook has already proven that it has the capacity to execute the most ambitious products and deliver unmatched growth to its unrivaled user base. In his view, this puts in its pole position the development and successful launch and scale of a cryptocurrency product, blah, 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 blah. Pretty much what it comes down to is that we've had rumors for quite some time that Facebook was going to get into the cryptocurrency space. Part of the news that we had before, which I didn't really see happening, was that, and this was, I guess, pie in the sky type dreams, was that Facebook would allow Bitcoin onto their platform as a payment method. I don't know why they would do that, i.e. like, what are you going to be buying on Facebook with Bitcoin? The other thing was that people were talking about that Litecoin was going to be added, that they were going to add this, and then they were going to start having this. Facebook is huge. I don't think people understand just how large Facebook actually is. They have 1/4 of all the humans on the planet on their platform. They stand to make a lot more money by creating their own cryptocurrency and launching it on their platform than they do adding other cryptocurrencies that other companies have made. If you've seen anything from the last couple of months, you realize that making a cryptocurrency is very big money. And I think this is only going to continue for quite a bit of time. I'm almost certain, and I think if we had rumors in August this was going to happen, remember that summer time frame, we were told that at the end of summer, this is when prices would go back up because blah, 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 so-and-so, speculation. And I think that all the plans that they had are just now extremely hush-hush, whether they're going to create their own cryptocurrency, whether they're going to create their own app or dApp or system or something like that. It makes a bit more sense that Facebook would create their, and I hope they don't call it Facecoin. I think that would be the worst thing in the entire world. Or even like Bookcoin, Facecoin book. Like any combination would just be absolutely horrible. Pretty sure they're going to do it. I wouldn't be shocked if they announced that they were going to create their own blockchain and put the Facebook so-and-so onto their blockchain as well, especially since they have like blockchain developers. Come on. But I could definitely see them creating a cryptocurrency that could try and, if you have enough of a reach, the same that Facebook has, and you create your own cryptocurrency and you tell people on your platform, we will pay you for your content. You know how many people would move over to Facebook if for those who still use Facebook, if you scroll up and down on any given day, there are tons of things like floating around, like people like posting videos of their kids and people hang gliding and all this other really weird stuff. Imagine a situation where Facebook created something and they said, sign up with us and sign up to our Facebook coin program. And every time you post content that gets over 1,000 views or likes or something like that, we'll pay you some Facebook coin. And this Facebook coin And you can also then cash out of it into your PayPal account. You know how much of a rush there would be to their platform with people just posting content all the time. First of all, Facebook, I believe, owns Instagram, and they've been trying to slowly make Facebook into like an Instagram like platform. You can have like what's the thing at the top? I can't remember what it's called, like Facebook video and stuff like that, and you can share your day and all this other stuff. I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen at some point. When is another question. When they do announce this, and if their marketing team is strong enough, they could become one of the largest cryptocurrency projects in the entire world. I'm almost certain that they actually would. The money that they have behind them and the push that they have, if they start putting stuff on their platform, incentivizing people to post videos and photos and this onto their, I mean, proof is kind of in the pudding. Still speculation at this point, but I'm pretty certain they're going to have their own crypto coin at some point, and I want to say it's going to be in 2019, but I think this is all we will need the market to go up before we get any type of clarification that there's going to be something like this, because I don't think they want to release Facebook coin during a bear market. That's just kind of how I feel, but you can kind of all see that it's also heading there as well, which also leads me to the idea. We have a lot of mega institutions and corporations and companies and like apps and stuff like that who are also creating their own cryptocurrencies. I would not be surprised if by the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, if Facebook coin, Kitcoin or Kin, the Telegram token that they're making, I don't think there'll be an Instagram coin, and I can definitely see maybe one other like really big app creating their own cryptocurrency as well. These 4 coins being somewhere in the top 20. The moment Facebook announces that they're creating a cryptocurrency, I'm probably going to buy up as much as I possibly can. The 2 billion people is just a bit too much of a reach for me. Like if they had 100 million users, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool. If they had 300 million, great. A billion is already a lot of people. 2 billion people, there's no way that won't become successful. Let's move on from Facebook. Binance is in the news. Binance, a leading Bitcoin and cryptocurrency exchange, unveiled a preview of their new DEX, or decentralized exchange. In a few months, the community-driven decentralized exchange will launch and enable traders to issue and exchange digital assets without having to deposit onto the central exchange known as just Binance. Development has gone from concept to built interfaces. Check out a sneak peek of how it works below. For those who are interested, you can definitely find this on YouTube. I can't play it because of copyright issues. I actually haven't even watched it myself. I don't think I need to see like graphics and stuff floating back and forth when it comes out. I'll just use it myself. Some of the highlights of this new decentralized exchange will be to send and receive BNB or Binance coin to anyone on the decentralized exchange, issue new tokens, which is interesting, send tokens to others on the DEX and receive some in return, burn tokens as needed, freeze some tokens and unfreeze them later, propose new trading pairs with the whole community having a say on the merits of the pairing, send, buy, and sell orders through trading pairs the community created. So there's a couple of very, 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 very interesting things here. Binance coin has taken me by surprise, and I want to say over the last 6 months. I didn't think, first of all, I thought that Binance would be big. I didn't think that Binance would get this big. Binance's coin has been integrated to a number of like normal cryptocurrency exchanges. And the first time that happened a couple months ago, I said I thought it was very weird. As an exchange, or rather another exchange, that you would add like the competing exchange's coin. Binance's coin is probably going to be one of the largest coins that we have in the cryptocurrency space for at least the next couple of years. That is not me telling you to FOMO into it or buy Binance coin, but I like by no means. Please do your own research. But the level of exposure that they're getting, when you have other cryptocurrency exchanges who are essentially your rivals adding your own token, that kind of speaks for exactly where their platform is going. On top of this as well, the Binance coin will be like the native asset. So like instead of having to swap into or out of Bitcoin in order to get your coins back and forth, you're going to have to swap directly in and out of Binance coin. They know exactly what they're doing. I think this is going to be incredibly interesting. I've waited for a proper decentralized exchange for a very long time. I tried other decentralized exchanges before. They were slow. They were laggy. They didn't really work that well. I have a feeling that Binance has been working on this for at least a year. They definitely have the money to back this up and to have the developers to come and make sure that it's really good and that everything kind of works out properly. Because if this goes off without a hitch, I assume the first 2 to 4 months may be a bit shaky, simply because I think the amount of people who are going to start using their decentralized exchange may be a bit out of control. Like, a lot of people are going to start to tumble into their market. I hope that they can handle the actual capacity of people who are going to be trying to get into their market. Very excited for this. I wonder the future of the price of Binance coin. Like, I wonder exactly how high that it's going to get. Like, multiple other decentralized exchanges have completely not crumbled, but they haven't really done that well, and I have a feeling that this will actually do really well, especially when you're allowing like people to propose new trading pairs. That's going to be something completely insane. There's no actual date at the moment of when this is going to officially launch. They say they expect it sometime early next year. I'm very excited for this. Can't really say much more on the topic, as it is a sneak preview, if you will, but I think it's going to be absolutely insane. And on that note, let us move on to kind of smash everything together and kind of finish up here. Major Singapore-based cryptocurrency exchange known as Huobi has gained a so-called distributed ledger technology license in Gibraltar. A press release shared with Cointelegraph on the 5th of December. Huobi, which is leveraging the UK's territories, encouraging regulatory perspective on the cryptocurrency industry, will use its new status to launch an international platform geared to both retail and institutional traders, the release said, stating, "The new license gives Huobi the authorities to store and transmit digital assets on behalf of clients worldwide. In doing so, it will compete with fellow exchanges including Binance, Bittrex, and Coinbase in serving traders in as many jurisdictions as possible as regulatory framework continues to evolve." Last week saw Huobi launch a derivatives market in the United States. They said it's no secret that we think that the well-designed regulatory regime as a part of the future for cryptocurrency industry. This was said by Lester Hauda Lee, who is the head of global international businesses. Not to read much further, Huobi is very large, and the fact that they are launching their own cryptocurrency exchange, I think, has missed the eyes of many people. There's such an enormous amount of good news, and not to have my spiel from the last one kind of roll over into this one. So many people are paying attention to that stupid ETF, and they don't understand exactly how big the cryptocurrency industry is going to be. And in 2 years' time, we're not going to be thinking about a Bitcoin ETF anymore, and any type of an ETF. The market is going to be well beyond that, and I wish that the rest of the market would kind of get it. The fact that they are opening something like this, and we have multiple other cryptocurrency exchanges opening, I don't know if they'll, maybe they'll be able to compete against Bittrex. I think Coinbase and Binance are kind of in their own sphere, their own little place already. But very cool to hear that Huobi is going to have their own crypto exchange, and they got their license in Gibraltar. Apparently Gibraltar is a very difficult place to be able to get a license in. And on top of all of that as well, a very interesting story. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I thought it was quite interesting that this happened. It says earlier today, the Ethereum price temporarily fell to $13 on GDAX. I think it's now called Coinbase Pro, a high-performance trading platform operated by Coinbase. $13. According to former Forex trader and cryptocurrency analyst Cole Garner, low orders in the range of $13 to $60 were actually filled on the platform. Garner published screenshots of GDAX that showed successful orders filled at $55 and $65. As of the 7th of December, the price of Ethereum remains at $85. Not really important to talk about the current price. Most flash crashes occur due to mistyped or misfiled trading orders at lower prices. On exchanges, investors can easily make a mistake in entering a wrong figure for a buy or a sell order. For instance, a potential Ethereum buyer may have wanted to file a buy order at 13 to purchase the digital asset at the lowest support level, but engaged in a careless mistake and filed a sell order at $13 instead. It is entirely possible that one individual trader intended to file a buy at 13, seeing a strong support level in the range of $13 to $14, as several technical analysts have suggested throughout the past week. and mistakenly filed a sell order at a lower level. The important thing to note here is the fact that there was a crash to 13, even if it was just 14 or 15 or $20. There's definitely one person in the world right now who is celebrating. It's today, Friday. Let me look at my phone. Today is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. There's definitely one person in the world who's celebrating, who was extremely, who bet against the price of Ethereum and it paid off. They definitely, someone out there had a buy order for Ethereum at $13 again, and it was definitely filled. So very good Friday to you, whoever you might be out there. If someone had a sell order at $13, I know that hurts a lot. But that flash crash, there was also, oh gosh, what was it? I think there was a flash crash for Bitcoin last year on Coinbase as well, and I think it fell down to like, I think $50 or $100. It was only a couple of seconds, but a lot of orders were actually filled, and I think Coinbase tried to take that money back or something like that, and it was like a huge outcry with people like, how dare you, I bet against this, and I actually won. The point is, this happened. I'm sorry, it's just really weird to think that Ethereum was at $1,400 in the beginning of this year, and someone out there had a buy order for $13 and it got filled. Like, imagine if they had put in $13,000 and it was like, I'm gonna chance it, and they woke up in the morning and they have 1,000 Ethereum. Must be nice. Anyway, that is definitely going to do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, and or evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. I do appreciate all of your support. Pay attention to the Lightning Network news. I don't think this is random at all. I think there is a huge push to get us not to use the Lightning Network, or rather, I guess you could kind of pretty much say it that way. I'm still waiting on confirmation from some major financial institution talking about that they're definitely going to be using the Lightning Network as well. I could definitely see Bakkt launching, talking about the Lightning Network, or we get confirmation that when we can finally pay for stuff at Starbucks or Microsoft or whoever's going to be accepting Bakkt, that they're going to be using the Lightning Network as well. Going to be interesting times. Pretty much, yeah. I'll talk to you all soon. See you.